Any questions, comments? Hearing none, we have a motion to return to regular session at 7:06. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. No votes were taken in executive session. Okay, we still have on the floor a motion to approve Eric Miller, substitute teacher for 24-25 school year, effective upon completion of the required paperwork. Any comments, questions, comments? Hear none. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, we're down to Elizabeth Dotson. Need a motion to approve the employment of Elizabeth Dotson, FBLA sponsor, Worth County Middle School, effective upon completion of the required paperwork.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
So, yeah, her application, this is an extracurricular for $600. She has filled that position, and this is typically an extracurricular that goes along with her full-time position.
Any questions, comments? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve Elizabeth Dotson as FBLA sponsor for Worth County Middle School, effective upon completion of the required paperwork. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Need a motion to approve the employment of Eric Benson, beginning business education teacher mentor, Worth County High School, effective upon completion of the required paperwork. Mr. McCown?
So as you recall, we posted a mentor teacher for Mrs. Dotson's position, and Eric Benson is the successful bidder for the mentor to help support her.
Any questions? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve Eric Benson as beginning business education teacher mentor, Worth County High School, effective upon completion of the required paperwork. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Need a motion to approve the employment of Rachel Romage, assistant girls basketball coach for Worth County Middle School for 24-25 school year, effective upon completion of the required paperwork.
So moved.
Mr. McCown?
Yeah, her application is in your packet.
And they've actually started, I think, and they're today maybe?
I think it's this week.
Yeah. This morning maybe. I think 6 o'clock this morning. Okay. I'm sorry, Mr. Loaded. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying, I didn't want to cut you off. Okay, we have a motion to approve Rachel Romage as assistant girls basketball coach for Worth County Middle School for 24-25 school year, effective upon completion of required paperwork. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, we're down to number 6. Need a motion to approve to employ Buddy Winnell as assistant wrestling coach for Worth County Middle School for 24-25 school year, effective upon completion of the required paperwork. Mr. McCown?
Yeah, his application was in your packet. This is, had a hard time filling this one, so I'm glad to bring a name to you tonight.
I have a question. I noticed going through these assistants, there's different amounts for coaches. Is there particularly reason why each position is different, or is this where it's set?
I think for each level, like the middle school coach, assistant coach, is consistent through that, but it's going to be different than if it was at the high school level with the coach and assistant coach.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, we have a motion to employ Buddy Winnell as assistant wrestling coach at Worth County Middle School for 24-25 school year, effective upon completion of required paperwork. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Need a motion to employ Brittany Stanley as substitute cook for 24-25 school year, effective upon completion of the required paperwork.
So moved.
Mr. McCown?
So her application is in your packet, and she's already passed the cook test.
Any questions? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve Brittany Stanley as substitute cook for 24-25 school year, effective upon completion of the required paperwork. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Need a motion to employ Stanley Freeland, substitute bus driver, 24-25 school year, pending background check and certification, effective upon completion of the required paperwork. Mr. McCown?
So it's a long time from them applying for the bus driver position to it finally coming to fruition, but we've got a couple here that are going to start that process. Mr. Smith, you have anything you'd like to add about either? It's a long process.
These guys are just starting, right?
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve Stanley Freeland as substitute bus driver, 24-25 school year, pending background check and certification, effective upon completion of the required paperwork. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. And a motion to employ Rebecca Holbert, substitute bus driver for 24-25 school year, pending background check and certification, effective upon completion of the required paperwork.
So moved.
Mr. McGowan?
Yeah, her application
Same.
is also in your packet.
I know, sound like a
broken record.
a record there, but we need to do that. Any questions? Hear none. We have a motion to approve Rebecca Holbert, substitute bus driver for 24-25 school year, pending background check and certification, effective upon completion of the required paperwork. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Need a motion to employ Phoebe Hayes, assistant girls basketball coach, Warwick County High School for 24-25 school year, effective upon completion of required paperwork.
So moved.
Mr. McCown?
Yeah, this one also has taken a while to fill, but happy to bring a name to you this evening, and her full application was in your packet.
Any questions? Hear none. We have a motion to approve Phoebe Hayes as assistant girls basketball coach for Warwick County High School for 24-25 school year, effective upon completion of required paperwork. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Very good. Down to new business. Okay, need a motion to have a discussion for a community survey regarding a future request for a bond to build a new high school with track, baseball, and softball fields. Do I have a motion? Any questions?
Well, I do have a handout.
Wait, we haven't voted.
Oh, sorry.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Now we're good.
Okay,
Mr.
I do
McCown.
have a handout for everybody.
Okay, this was a discussion that started, Mr. Sherlock had a question at the last board meeting about track, which we, I think, all concur with. So we want to start a discussion, what can we do about that? Okay, we've had this discussion, we've looked at it for years, we've talked about it, every softball season rolls around, baseball season rolls around, we have those discussions. So this evening, we're just going to start a discussion. There won't be anything that will be a final, but we'd like to put out, or I think the thing for us to do is to put out a survey to our people, okay, and see if they're interested in doing this, because it will obviously cost money. So that's where we're at. And I know that actually I had several people speak to me about this issue, and I'll talk about that after Mr. McCowan talks here, and see if we can't start that process of doing a survey, see if our people are interested. I mean, they might not be interested. And if they're not, then, you know, we can go with that. But that's where we're starting. So we won't beat this thing up tonight, but we'll start that discussion and keep adding to it. So go for it, Mr. McCown.
So we would have to get the community's approval to pass a bond to help fund that school, probably in conjunction with some school building authority funds. But remember, school building authority funds can only be used to purchase, to build the school. Any revisions to a football field or baseball field or even bus garage or other ancillary things like that, school building authority funds cannot be utilized for. So the sheet that I shared with you this evening, if you look down to the bottom of the list where work is, and then you look at the third column over, that is the total bond potential at 5% that the county could realize if we ask for the maximum amount of bond that we possibly could. So that comes out to $14,544,965. If we're planning to go and utilize school building authority funds too, I'm not sure that we would need to ask for that full amount, but that's the maximum that we possibly could ask for. I've got a frog in my throat.
I'm going to reiterate, okay? We are not suggesting that we pass a bond for $14,500,000. It is
That is
the
the
maximum amount that
maximum
we're allowed
amount.
to ask for, okay? We're not even in the ballpark yet of giving a figure, okay? So, we want to make sure people,
So,
I hear
yeah,
that.
we'll have to estimate the cost of what new school construction would cost with what the school building authority is putting out there for new school construction, and then see what the potential differences that we would need to come up with as a county. But I will put out there, if folks have ideas or thoughts about the construction of a new high school, I think we are going to put out a survey and get some information and get some feedback from the community and from our staff members and all of our stakeholders concerning this. And if we were to put out a bond, it's got to be with an already arranged election. So the next general election we're looking is 2 years out. So it's not like we're going to have this figured out next month. We're going to have some time to look at everything very carefully before we put anything out to the voters.
when, after we talked about this last meeting, I had several people just as I moved around through the county and at the grocery store or wherever else. Luke, you'll learn that, okay? When you walk in the grocery store, just plan on an extra half hour, okay? 45 minutes, okay, as you move through the grocery store. But, what's that?
I'm long-winded.
There you go. So anyway, these were some things that were said to me. And then I know Mr. Sherlock probably had some things and the rest of them. But these were things to me, okay? I was asked, would we rebuild in Elizabeth or would we look for land somewhere else? My answer to that is, we'll have to wait and see. We're way too early in the thing. This was the most interesting one. I had several people ask me this question. If we build a new school, would we still call it Warrick County High School? And the answer to that is, I'm one member. I think so. Okay, I think it'd still be Warrick County High School, new or old or whatever. It'd just be the new Warrick County High School, right? If we don't build a new high school, can we still pass a bond to take care of our athletic needs? And the answer to that is most certainly. Okay, we can't use, as Mr. McCowan said, we can't use SBA funds for that, but we can most definitely use county funds to take care of our needs, our track and our softball, baseball, football, basketball, all our sports. We definitely could do that even if it was decided by our people they don't want a new high school. Just lots of questions like that. Just, how big would the school be? Would we build it here, where it's sitting now, destroy it, take this one down, build a new one here, buy, some more land going that way? Just lots of questions. And that's why we're starting down this process to try to get answers to those questions. Eventually we'll have to get, if our county wants to do it, we'll have to get engineers and architects and those type of people to come in that do that. But, lots of comments about, can, we move our bleachers out and put track with, instead of, we wouldn't be able to hold things, but we put a 3 track around our football? I don't know, folks. I'm not an engineer. I'm not an architect. I mean, it wouldn't allow us to hold track meets, but it would allow our kids not to run up 14. Okay? Can we, build softball and baseball fields somewhere besides where they're at. And the question is, again, yeah, that's what's decided. So just started down this process. So again, I say to our people out there, folks, send Mr. McCallum. This is one people say there's no dumb questions. Well, sometimes there are, but this isn't one of those times, okay? This isn't one of those times, okay? Any questions you have, comments, thoughts, we truly would like to hear them. And we're going to come up with that survey to, just judge what people want to do. Do we want to tax ourselves? I don't know. I don't have a problem with it, but that's me. So with that being said, that's my little spiel. Ms. Sherlock, you're one that.
Yeah, so I had two questions about this that not really sure what the answer is. So one of them was if we built a new school, new athletic facilities, would that raise people's property value and then cause them to be taxed more additionally than whatever the levy was? And I don't know. I'm not sure how you would.
Yeah, the levy,
determine that.
our levy is an operating levy. It's an excess operating levy, okay, which, we renew every 5 years, right, Karen? And, that's been in place for, truly almost ever. And we would never want to do anything that would put our operating levy in jeopardy, because it truly is we cannot overstate how much the operating levy gives us. So we have an operating levy right now, and that'll come back up probably next time we swing around here. Yeah, next time we swing around. And then you have bonds, okay? So we have operating levy, that's one thing, okay? And then if we do this, we'll have a bond. Okay, we'll pass a bond, just like we did for those old timers back in '90 when we passed the bond for the middle school. Okay, and if memory serves me right, back in those times we didn't have this big of a rating, but I believe that the bond for the middle school is about $5 million. Is that, or maybe that's the most we could pass. It might have only been about $2 million. You don't remember, Mr. Lowe? I look at Mr. Lowe because he's as old as I am. Okay. So they're two separate things. Yes, it would raise people's taxes if we decided to pass a bond, but it's totally separate from the levy.
I think what the questions they were getting at was, would we anticipate after the bond was paid, would it have property value increasements? So for instance, if you had a $100,000 home, now your home's valued at $120,000 because there's better schools and more activities or whatever. So they were asking with that, and I don't know how you would project that.
Yeah, that would be, that's up to, Karen might be able, that'd be up to the assessor, what the assessor decided to assess people's property at if the property values went up because of the new school.
And then the other question was, if we built outside of Elizabeth, would that change our athletic divisions because of being close to the?
That provision in that formula
Was taken
out.
Yeah, shouldn't have anything to do with that. Yeah, that's, Ms. Sherlock, I got to ask that question several times. Are you, here again, I'll probably be off the board before this was ever, it'll be up to these young guys. But, are you against building out of Elizabeth? And the answer, my answer is that I think when you do due diligence, you look at everywhere and see where you can do it. And, what's the best fit? What do we get the most for our money? But I know, I was asked right before we came in, I got an email about we're starting basketball. And I know that I don't know, but my understanding is that the middle school girls team practiced at 6 o'clock this morning because of gym time. And, it's like, are you going to have another gym? Okay, again, that's all those things that have to be decided as we roll into this. Mr. McCown?
So I just want to say to the staff and the community out there watching, if you have thoughts and ideas, feel free to share that. We're going to be collecting and putting some survey information out to staff members, students, and the community in the forthcoming weeks and months.
I have one question, and that was, is there anything wrong other than the age of the high school?
I think we're looking at windows that are getting bad. I think some of the window it is letting water into some of the walls. It's creating some problems in there. I think just looking at the need of the high school, I think restrooms could be refurbished throughout the building. And then there is issues at times with where the electrical room is there and the drainage coming out. Sometimes water is getting in that we have worked to alleviate that, but it's just problems that a school that's the better part of 100 years old is going to have some issues. And I think Mrs. Smith could speak at length to the structural issues, but like in some of the upper floors, like the wall has receded from the floor and there's like a gap between the wall and the floor in some areas. And it's starting to show. I mean, and we have taken very, very good care of it, and the custodians do an excellent job. And as far as what it looks like and the cleanliness of it, looks fantastic for its age. But there are just some structural issues that are starting to become problematic.
Worst thing about it, when you go to, when you start down the road of trying to get money from the SBA, is that you can't tell them that your building's in excellent shape because they have buildings that aren't. So you have to sort of make yourself look bad. And those are all issues that will keep compounding, maybe not in the next 10 years or next 15 years, but those are issues that are going to keep compounding too. It's a 100-year-old building, or close to a 100-year-old building. And, along with that comes no neglect or anything, come those issues that come with that. And then you compound onto that, what we provide to our students with extracurricular. It's time to have that discussion. It's time to have it. So, Mr. McCowan, I would like to have this put on our agenda under information from now until we decide what we want to do.
Absolutely.
And it will be a discussion that we'll continue to have up to that point. Mr. Lowe?
Last Tuesday, I stayed up until 2:30 in the morning. No, so we throw them right up against the wall, see the sticks.
I had one person tell me that we better not tear the old lady down. Okay, okay, I get that. I get that. It's an important place in people's lives. I get that.
So in our next discussions, are we asking for public information then?
Yeah, and then
we pretty well get
we'll
that.
do this until the first of the year, and then we'll get a survey ready to go out.
Okay.
I think the more we talk about it, the more we'll get people to give us their thoughts. And we get a survey out there, and we see what our folks think about it. Sound good? Anything else for the cause? Okay, we're down to need a motion to approve. Well, actually, we're under a motion here, and that motion is to discuss. And we've asked Mr. McCown to bring that back to us as a standard thing on our agenda. So all in favor of that, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, we're down to approved policy D-15, conflict of interest. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
So as we discussed the last time, when we had our federal programs review, it was recommended to us that not only with the board members and myself and other board office folks, when we get audited each year, we do that survey that I need to complete in the morning, and you probably have already completed, about fraud and conflicts of interest. Our last federal programs review, it was recommended that we draft a policy for all staff to review annually each year, that explains what conflict of interest is and precludes them from taking part in that. So we have done that. We put it out on comment for 30 days. We have exactly 0 comments on that policy. So I am bringing that back to you for your consideration and approval of that policy tonight.
Any questions, comments? Hear none. We have a motion to approve policy D-15, conflict of interest. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, need a motion to put out on public comment for 30 days, policy C-12, Worth County Schools weapons policy. Mr. McCown.
Okay, I have ran a hard copy of that for you to review.
Thank you.
Okay, so the last time we had Mrs. Starkey here, and we were talking about various things, and you all had asked Larry Johnson what other counties have already approved their school-based probation officers to carry. So the answer to that I got back from Mr. Johnson. Mon County, Putnam, Wayne, Fayette, Cabell, Boone, Logan, Mason, Roane, and Jackson have all approved their school-based probation officers to carry. And Mon County and Jackson County have a policy very similar to the one before you. We've made a couple revisions to it. But in that, not only does it spell out the definition and the purpose of firearms and weapons, but it's going to, you approving this policy is going to give law enforcement and specifically probation officers the ability to carry their firearm. If you will take a look at page 4 of this policy, specifically provision B, it says any probation officer in the performance of his or her duties, for example, Worth County School juvenile probation officer, it gives them the exception of to be able to carry a weapon on school property, and as well as it spells out law enforcement officers and other personnel who would meet an exemption to that weapons on school grounds policy. So I would ask that we would place this on a 30-day comment period and then bring it back to the board for consideration at the end of that period.
Questions, comments? Hear none. We have a motion to approve, put out for public comment for 30 days. Policy C-12, Worth County Schools weapons policy. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, need a motion to approve the CEFP annual update.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
So that is in your packet. It's not varied very much, but each year we've got to bring that back before the board and ask you to approve that. Mr. Smith, would you like to add anything to that or to discuss that?
Well, there wasn't any major changes, as Mr. McHale said, but on page 2 there, as I mentioned in one of the slide decks there, I highlighted in red where what we did, we basically flip-flopped and we wanted to prioritize paving the gravel lot possibly this upcoming summer. So we moved that ahead of the kitchen and dining expansion project. So at this time, we thought that would be the most cost feasible, and that's something maybe we can do in the summer. But we have to portray it before you all and make sure that's okay with you before we submit that to the state or for approval.
And if memory serves me right, construction of new high school is in that 10-year plan, right?
Yes, it is, Mr. Max, yes.
Okay.
On page,
That's fine, Jay.
Page 2, number 8 priority, of course, because we knew it was going to be all at least a couple years until we could address that. So
Okay.
it's listed number 8 on that second page.
Okay. Any other questions about the CEFP? Hearing none. We have a motion to approve the annual updates to the CEFP. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Down to E, discussion of personnel concerns. This time I will entertain a motion to enter into executive session to have a discussion of personnel concerns.
So moved.
Any questions, comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Sorry, folks.